Well, guys, how's it going? So it's 7:30. Yeah, still trying to work on that damn 1586. This is just becoming a freaking nightmare. This whole job from hell. So yeah, so I did finally get a hold of the young guy there. He well, I had to call him that second time there because the first time he never ever called me back, and I waited a few days. But again, that could have been on my end because I was calling from my shop, and usually my phone doesn't have good connection, even though it was ringing. But probably wasn't ringing on his end, you know. So yeah, but I called them a couple days ago or something, and he recommended to try to instead of removing the 3-point arms from their mounting hardware, he says that you can slide all of it with it. When you know, you can remove all of it as one big chunk instead of, you know, like little pieces, or, you know, one piece at a time kind of deal, right? So that's what we've been trying to do. And he says all you should really have to do is take that one bolt out, and then that on the driver's side there where the torsion bar is at, that should slide off. It wants to slide off, but of freaking course it hits the goddamn axle housing. It's just the stupidest little fucking things that are just really getting to be on my skin, or getting under my skin, I should say. This fucking grass is growing like freaking mad. Of course, we got another 0.6 inches of fucking rain over the last couple days. It just never quits. So I don't know. It's just at this point, I guess, what do you freaking do? And then he says you can do kind of the same thing. I guess it would be like on the passenger side, you know. That won't even budge. First of all, that for some reason won't even try to move. The bolts are loose. That's another thing too. You can't even slide the bolts out. They hit the axle housing. So it's just really getting to be on my freaking nerves. Yeah, the grass is really come to life down here. She's already over a couple of feet. Yeah, probably 3 feet probably in some areas. So, but I'm kind of just getting impatient with this. So, because I don't know what else to do. Nothing fucking moves. Nothing moves like it freaking should. Everything wants to freaking fight. It's like, just get off my damn tractor so I can, you know, plan the next stage in repairs. You know, it's like, you can't. I just can't simply win. So I tried to call him again tonight to see what he thinks. See if there's like a plan Z at this point. Shut up, fucking radio. So I don't know. And then he was talking about the last time I called him there. He says there's probably like fucking mosquitoes. He says there's probably a good chance we're gonna probably have to pull the PTO, and you know, the PTO housing. But he's thinking if we could remove the arms that we're trying to do now. This is like plan B. plan A was a fail because the fucking pins won't even rotate. They're still seized in there. So it's kind of just, we're thinking we probably have to pull the PTO, but then he came up with that idea to maybe try to just slide the whole thing off, and says you can do it on both sides. I can't get nothing to move. And then it looks like on the other side, the passenger side, that has another bolt going through the torsion bar. What it looks like it anyway. It might be for the big one, not the little one. But I don't know. It's all just become a friggin' nightmare. I just can't get anywhere. I mean, yeah, we weren't going to really get it fixed this month, but it's just the fact that if I could get the thing tore apart, see what parts I need, then I could, go to Case IH and see if they have them in stock, or if they can order them in, or whatever the fuck they got to do. Let's just get it done, and then we'll be in July, to pick them up. So I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just frustrated to the point where I don't know. I mean, I don't know. To me, I feel like just parking the fucking thing and going and getting another one. Like, that's how frustrated I am at it. And it's all just because of certain things don't want them slide certain ways. It's like, you can slide it off. Okay, well, you can, that little housing guy only slides off so far, and then it hits the goddamn, the axle housing. It's like, what do you do there? I've tried bending it, I've tried twisting it, I've tried doing this, I've tried doing that, yada yada yada. It's just not working. On the passenger side, he says you can remove. There's a big plate there that's also part of the torsion tube, but I think it's for the smaller one. He says if you take those two bolts out, then you should be able to slide the little shaft out, and then I guess you should be able to just drop everything, and then it should, then you could go from there. But nothing wants to move. It's just ridiculous. It's like, it's all, like, I don't understand how it could be, like, seized, like, especially that bracket, because the bracket's cast iron, and everything else is cast iron. So how does, there's obviously got to be steel in there or something somewhere where this is really getting stuck, because we're just not getting anywhere. And then I seen a thing on Facebook. There was another guy, I don't know, he wanted that part number for, well, he thought that there was snap rings that went there where those pins go for the lift arms, the main lift arms, and you got the pins, and on the outside it's not a snap ring, it's like a flat plate. One has a square hole in it, and that's what your pin would sit in. So obviously the pin can't rotate and the pin can't slide out during, like use or whatever, right? And then yeah, so I don't know. This is crazy, but yeah, it definitely wasn't a snap ring. I wish it would have been. That would have been probably a little simpler, but I think snap rings probably would have broke with time, whereas this, it can't break because it's held into place by the pin itself and a little small bolt. That's what basically sandwiches all that. It keeps the pin from wanting to slide out. So, and then there's a guy that said on there that he's he's had the same problem that I'm dealing with, that he could not get the pins out. He says that they were a major pain in the ass to remove. And he said that what he did after he put new pins in, or I think he reused his old ones, I don't know, mine are junk, so I'm going to have to get new ones for mine. There's no reusing mine. So I'm either going to try to see what they cost at Case IH, new, compared to trying to just find a couple at a salvage yard. It might be cheaper just to go to a junkyard, get some used ones, but I don't know. I don't know what to do because I don't have these parts out. I can't study them. I can't look at them, I can't figure out, okay, well, I think this is complete junk. Let's junk it. Let's go get some new ones and be done with it. I just want my fucking 3-point off. So, this tractor won't be going, I don't think, for the year. See, the problem is now, too, the young guys called the other day, like I said there, and why he couldn't get back to me right away was because they were all out. Him and his kids or whatever, they were all out shooting at freaking like coyotes and stuff because they were all trying to take his cows down and take his calves, and he didn't want no fucking part of that. So, and then they were moving cattle, fencing, and by the time they get all that done, it'll be time to cut hay. This hay is already getting fairly tall. Like that down there, I think that down there you could cut it and you'd be done, but just gonna cut it all in one big go and be done with it. But that's what's next. And then by the time he's done baling hay, okay, well then he's got to start harvesting his crops. And then at the same time as that, he's got to start loading bales and hauling them back to his place. It's like, this is just never going to ever get done. And then he was kind of wishing that maybe we would have gotten it in his shop. Okay, well, yeah, but, and I was like, well, what's the sense, really, because it's never going to get worked on anyway, because he's too busy doing other stuff, It's like, you're not going to have the time. But the thing is that he's got the tools. He's got the torches, he's got all the proper freaking tools. I mean, you needed 50 tools to just even do what we did today, or yesterday. 50 different tools. 50 different sockets, different lengths. You needed extensions. You needed pry bars. You needed, lube to lube everything up. It's just like, holy crap. This is a nightmare, But what do you do? But like the young guy said too, those pins should not have been that hard to come out. So that tells you right there that they've obviously never been out. But the one guy, like I was saying on Facebook there, the one guy said that he put extensions on his pins. I mean, I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And then he says every year or something, he'll take that, he'll loosen all that stuff back up, and he'll actually rotate the pins so they can't seize. And that's what I'm going to do too, I think. I think once I'm not going to put extensions on mine. I don't think I'll need to, but I think if I lube them up, I'm probably even going to put anti-seize on them. I think that's what they call it, anti-seize, so the stuff can't seize up. Put tons of that on it, and then I think at least once a year, I'm going to take that crap apart and then just spin the pins, or just take the pins right out, and just keep them clean, because I don't know how often, those O-rings are going to go bad in the torsion tube, but I'm sure they'll last a few years, once we do finally get it rebuilt, but it would be such a pain. It's going to be a pain having to do that, once a year too, having to loosen all that spin the pins a few times just to make sure that they're not seizing up, and then whatever else. And the young guy said too that it's kind of it's funny because he says that for how many years that I've actually been using the 3-point hitch and moving bales, all this stuff should have been rocking around, bending, shifting, moving. And he says with those 2,000-pound bales way out there yet, putting all that pressure down, and then it's swaying, because the 3-point's obviously not very solid, there is some sway in it, that should have jawed everything free. But it's quite clear that it never did do that. So, but he says it's funny, because that should have helped a lot to get things to move. But and then he was talking about removing the top link cover. That will gain you some access to inside. Well, I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't know what that's going to uncover, really. I suppose besides that, you can maybe stick your big head inside and maybe see what the frick is going on. But other than that, it's still not... I don't know what really more you can do at this point. So, I don't know. That's just, it'll get fixed when it gets fixed, obviously, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to get fixed even this year. It'll probably end up getting tore apart and then just staying tore apart all winter long, which is not a good thing for it either, but, you know, I got other things going on right now, and I don't have freaking time to piss around with it either, so I got a cat that's possibly dying. Again, this is another cat now with possible cancer, so I have to keep an eye on him. I have another cat, or the first cat, you know, when I made the first ranting video about my vet. He's doing a little bit better, but he's still a little iffy, so we don't let him out anymore, because we don't know what if he was getting into something and this is what made him sick or what. We don't know. And then I don't know exactly when, but yeah. Well, my mother had an eye doctor appointment today, so she's got blood. I don't know if it's... Well, it's blood, but I don't know if it's like actual blood or if it's blood pressure. But it's in her eye. That's why her eye is kind of more blurrier than it probably really should be. But they said that in order to... Well, they have to get... She has to lower her blood pressure. Her blood pressure apparently is too high. So... And after that, once they get her blood pressure down... Then she has to go all the way down to the cities and have surgery done to her eyes. She's getting that cataracts or whatever the frick they call it. It's, you know, where you get that film in your eye and, you know, everything's blurry. But it's just a simple, you know, laser job, and then, you know, you're done. The problem is that we have to go 3 hours south, because the first city... I don't know, they're goofy, but they can do it, but they do it in steps. They only do a little bit at one time. Whereas they went to the next city down, which is a much bigger city, they can do everything in one day and be done with it. So the problem is there, we have to try to figure out, am I going to have to drive all the way down to the cities, or if there's a way we can get some kind of a service, you know? Because I've never driven in the cities. I've been to the cities, but I've never physically driven in them. So, you know, that's all going to be new for me. And I don't know how this Tahoe is going to do on gas. So I got a feeling even just going to the first city down, which is only probably about an hour and 30 minutes away south, I'm probably going to have to stop and gas up again, because I don't know if a full tank of fuel would last. Because these Tahoes like to burn a lot of fuel. So, And then you got to drive another freaking, 2 hours probably on top of that. So, you got to have money to get there for gas and then to get back. And I think that's going to cost me probably well over $500 in gas. Probably more. Gas will probably be a little bit cheaper down in the cities than it is here because they can sell it, technically in a bigger bulk. But it's still going to be expensive no matter how you look at it. So, I don't know. I also have a appointment, well, not me, but I think it's next week for the cat. So, but of course, we had to make an appointment. So, we're just like, well, whatever, we'll just deal with it, I guess, until then. But chances are it's probably cancer because he's getting a lump on the side of his, it's like kind of like right here. And my other cat that had cancer had it in the jaw. Well, it did the same thing. It got all, it's like a big old lump there, So, but the only problem is that this might be a different type of cancer because he's not throwing up. Whereas the other cat was, and it had blood and everything mixed in with it. So it was, I don't know. But, that's the thing, too. My cats, most of my cats anyway, are up there in age now, where they are likely to have more health issues now than they were, just a few years ago. So, but that's usually how it goes over here, too. Pretty much about every year, I lose at least one cat. I lost a cat last year, and the previous year, and probably going to lose one this year, too. Well, most likely will, yeah. So, but whatever. What are you going to do? Not much you can do. So, I don't know. Just trying to, just whatever. I don't know. So, it's one thing right after a freaking another. But I don't know. I don't think we'll get too far with that 3-point hitch deal. We'll probably get it off by July, probably. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. This is pretty much out of my hands at this point because I don't have, one, I don't have a torch big enough. Two, I don't really know what I'm doing because I'm not familiar with any of this stuff. So I do need somebody here that knows what the fuck they're doing to point me in the right directions. And doing it over the phone is not really ideal. It works, but it's not ideal. So, but yeah, it looks like on the passenger side where the torsion tube would be at. This is the small one now, but there's still a bolt on that top side, just like there was on the driver's side. But I don't know if it's for the big tube. That's just what helps the big tube from spinning, or if it's actually for the little tube. I don't know. But there's no way of really getting to that because I was going to remove the other 3-point hitch stop because it's got these big flat bars on each. So while the one on the other side was taken off, so we could hook up 3-point hitch attachments, like the bail movers, but we left the other one on because it wasn't in the way. I was going to maybe remove it to see if that would let me gain access to that bolt, but kind of looking at it, I don't think it's going to help. I don't think it's going to matter because now it looks like there's another plate that's behind that, and who knows what the fuck that goes to, So I don't know, but I think it's dumb. It's dumb that I can't even slide the damn bolts out. Especially on the passenger side there. I got those 2 bolts out. I can't slide them all the way out. They hit the axle housing. So what do you do there? So it's never ending. And I was really hoping that we could get somewhere. I took maybe one step. And now I'm 10 steps back behind where I was at before. You know, it's like where I was at the beginning. You know, it's like I didn't really get anywhere. You know, yeah, I made a little bit of progress, but it's progress that fucking doesn't really even make a difference in what we're doing anyway, because it's not allowing me to even slide any of this stuff off. Can't believe it. You know, but that's the problem too, is, you know, I kind of think with these bigger tractors, these 3-points never get used as much as they really should. Now, if I would have bought something smaller, like a 1086, it probably would have been, the 3-point probably would have been loose, because, you know, I'm sure somebody would have used it for running a snowblower on it. So I don't know. Might come to the point, you know, where I just have to say fuck it and just go get another tractor and maybe hope that that one's not a pile of piss too. You know, I don't know. But I don't have money to go buy another tractor either, you know. But it's just like, I don't know. What do you do? So, because it's not like I'm going to go test drive these tractors and then be like, oh, well, can I try to remove the 3-point hitch to see if this comes off? And if it don't come off, well, then I'm not going to buy it. You know, like, I'm not going to do that, right? It's just stupid. So, I don't know what else to really do with this stupid thing. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, maybe one of these days the young guy will have a day off where he can just come and take a look at my tractor and see what he thinks. Because I think he really needs to be here too in order to really see what's going on. And he says that he, apparently he has a torsion tube in his shop or somewhere. I think he says that he was going to put that in his 1086 at one time, but he just kind of never really did it. I don't know if it's more of a heavy duty kind or what. I don't know what the hell he was really talking about, but apparently he had one. So he was going to go look at it and, you know, just to kind of refresh his memory, because he says it's been years since he's had to do that. So it sounds like once we get everything working on like we fix that problem, you know, maybe I won't have to tear that torsion bar apart now for another 20 years. But I'm still going to have to, at least once a year, try to remove those pins. Keep those pins to move. At least rotate them a little bit so they don't seize. But what do you do? So I don't know. I guess you guys tell me, but I'm kind of limited to what I can do because I don't have all these big fancy tools that we freaking need. So, and I'm not going to get them anytime soon. So, I don't know. So, but I guess, guys, I'm going to take off. I just want to let you guys know what was going on for today. Didn't really get all that far with it, but I managed to get a little bit of progress, but not much. So, nothing to really write home about. So, but yeah, I know South Saskatchewan farmers are going to be like, sell that piece of shit and go get yourself a John Deere. You know what? The way my luck is, I'd probably end up with a John Deere tractor that's never had its 3-point off either. And I'd just be in the same freaking fix. And you know what? John Deeres are way more expensive, even if they are a pile of piss themselves. You know, it's like, they're still worth a lot of money. That's because you're paying for the fucking name. You ain't paying for nothing else. So, but it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter what I buy. It's just they're all gonna probably have trouble at some point. But this is just gonna be a little bit ridiculous. So, well, what are you gonna do? So, but I guess, guys, I'm gonna take off. So I guess I'll have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care easy.